Hello everybody, my name is Chris Covell, and I'm going to be doing a little review of Epoch's portable video game system, the Game Pocket Computer. I'm sorry for the blurriness right now, but it'll come in useful later when I try to take pictures of the screen. Well, this was a portable video game system released by Epoch in Japan in 1984 or 85, and it was a huge failure, unfortunately. It's quite a large machine. As you can see, it's bigger than my hand, but it does come with all the features that a more modern system like the Game Boy had about 5 years later than this system. On-off switch and sound on and off. Comes with a circular D-pad. 4 action buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus select and start. It takes game cartridges, of course, and here's the cartridge slot right here, and a window where the instructions can be seen. On this side there's a contrast dial and AC adapter port. So let me show you the system as I turn it on again. I'll stand it on this stand and hopefully the screen can be quite clear. I'll get out of the way. So let's turn it on with no cartridge. This is what you see. And the sound on. On this top you can see the system touting its high-tech specs with a spiral pattern being drawn in the middle. That's all. If you press select, you can toggle between a puzzle game, press start, and you can rearrange the letters and stuff. Really boring. You get bored of that in about 10 seconds. Press select again, you can start up a graphics function. Pressing buttons 3 or 4 allows you to draw dots on screen, and 1 or 2 erases those dots. Needless to say, very, very boring. It gets tiring very quickly. So that's where the game cartridges come in. So let's turn that off. Here's the game cartridge that I got with my system. It's Mahjong. The label is nice and reflective, and it has the instructions that can be seen through the window when you play the game. But I can't play Mahjong, so I cannibalized it for an EPROM cartridge. And I have switches here to select ROM banks. So let's plug in the system, try out a game. Okay, turn everything on. So here's one game that I have, Block Maze. Start it up. It's kind of like Turtles or B-Ball Fu Manchu for the PC Engine TurboGrafx. Here's this little guy in the bottom of the screen, and you gotta kick these balls into the corners, as well as kicking them towards enemies and destroying your enemies. But it is really slow moving and plays like an LSI video game, so it's not exactly the most fun kind of game. If only it were a bit speedier and faster, it would be nicer. Ugh. But no, it's kind of hard to control. Kick that ball into the corner. Well, there we go. Bonus points, and I got a roulette going. And then the next level starts. Let's flip the switch one more time. You can see here I got the set up for switches here. Flip that into the middle, and I have my own homemade multi-cart, so to speak. You can put up to 4 ROMs on that EPROM that I have there. So let's try out the next game. This one, Astro Bomber, is actually the best on the system, but there were only 5 games released for it, so it's not saying much. Astro Bomber is a clone of Konami's Scramble. I think that's the name for it. You have this little spaceship, and you have to, which you bomb and shoot at the same time. Shoot those tankers for fuel. Shoot the missiles so they don't shoot at you. And that's basically it. The game continues and it goes into a few more stages, like a tunnel and a boss fight, which really is kind of cool for a 1984 game, but I won't. That'll take too long. I won't go that far here. So let's crash. Crash. Yeah. That's enough of that for now. Okay. Well, I'll flip the switch again, and and I'll show off one of the demos that I made. It's like a homebrew graphics and sound and other programming demo. Made in assembly and using a lot of hacking and, well, an assembler for this CPU, thanks to a nice guy on the internet. Start it up. And this is much nicer. If only the games were kind of flashy like this. So this is a little graphics and animation and stuff demo that I made several months ago. So if you're interested in this, please feel free to download it from my homepage. So press start. I'll press start. Then what I have here is a little menu of different graphics and programming functions. I'll just go down the list. Edit memory lets you do exactly that, edit memory. On the left side here is the memory address that you can edit, and here you can change the values, well, like that. Probably it's dangerous to edit the RAM live, but that's what I'm doing right now. If you press start, you can view the graphics, you can view a bitmap of the memory as it's running. So if I press start, check it out here, this is a bitmap image of the system's memory live, so it's updating the variables. You can see them cycling in the corner here. Yeah, and if I change the address, maybe you can see some interesting ROM information. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where this is. Well, garbage mostly. Nothing. Oh, there we go. That's from my demo ROM actually. Anyway. Next function down is execute code, and here you can actually do some programming, hex opcode by hex opcode. But even if you don't know the opcodes here, down at the bottom it tells you the mnemonic for it. So that's one of the opcodes here, and there are a few of them right here. Let's say, for example, move down here. If I press start, it'll execute this program here. Oh, do you see that? Well, it looks like a piano player working right now. Basically, this just scrolls across the screen. The joypad presses, so I'm moving the joypad and pressing the buttons, and so I can make it make patterns. That's just a tiny little program that it is an example. And if you press select, it stops the program, it halts it, and you get a register dump at the bottom. Let's go back up to one of the default location of the program. If I put the cursor right here, it'll run the program from this cursor, and, well, it's your basic hello world. There. Pressing one of the buttons makes that register dump go away. Well, this is only useful for programmers or hackers. If you know what you're doing, have fun. Play music. Well, it's pretty simple. Each pair of bytes has musical note and duration, so if you set up any of these notes, press start. Lots of fun. Slideshow. Well, these are some graphics that a couple of nice guys in NestDev on the internet supplied to me. This system can only do black and white, but by flickering the two pictures together, you can get shades of gray. And that's what I have here. These two pictures are made by guys on NestDev, and the next are kind of drawn up or hacked by me, just to make them look kind of nice. So these are all showing 3 shades of gray. That's 1 less than the Game Boy. Not bad, but hey. For a 1984 system, this isn't so terrible, is it? I don't think so. Alright. And then that's that. Okay, a game. Well, I'll do that last, maybe. Mini-graph, it's a small graphing calculator. It's not at all like a TI-82 or 83 or whatever the hell you have there, but well, hey, a person can have fun with it. Yeah, it does do graphs. Yeah, that's that. A scroller. Well, you can edit this. This is a mini notepad. That's what it says. And you can change the text, of course. A, B, C, D. and press start, it scrolls the text. If you press left, it scrolls it faster. Press right, it slows it down. You can really slow it down there. It's kind of cool, right? Speed her up. Okay. And finally, well, intro goes back to that scrolling intro that I had at the beginning of my demo. Game, well, Epoch Land. This is a little tiny game demo that I programmed for the system. Not sure if you can see, but there's a score up at the big top of the screen. It doesn't say Mario, it actually says Hakio, but that's because limitations of the LCD. And there, you can make Mario run around. I mean Hakio, you can make Hakio run around. And that's the end of the game demo. Maybe someday I'll program more. Alright. And so go back to the intro. That's the intro that scrolls on screen. Okay. So that's about it for my game demo and a couple of those games for the Epoch Game Pocket Computer. Just one last thing I'll do is I'll compare the size of the system because it is quite large. So let's take this guy here, turn it off. First things first, cartridges. Yeah, the cartridges, well, you can see it's about the same size as a Game Boy cartridge, but it is much thicker. It's more than twice as thick as the Game Boy cartridge, but not bad for something this old. As far as systems go, here I have an Atari Lynx and a Nintendo Game Boy, so we'll put the Game Pocket Computer side by side. There we go. Lynx, Game Boy, and Game Pocket Computer. As you can see, the Lynx is huge. The Game Pocket Computer might even be huger than it. Alright. It's about the size of a Game Boy, but much wider. I was wrong. The Lynx is even longer than the Game Pocket Computer. So, we lose out here. I hope you liked my review of the game system, and if you have any more questions, please check out the links on my webpage. I'm sure they'll all be answered. Thanks a lot.